Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live starting Sunday, February 26th. Memphis Wrestling tag teams with Penny Hardaway and the University of Memphis Tigers for Throwback Day at FedEx Forum. Don't miss it live. Saturday, March 4th, join us in Tupelo, Mississippi for TupeloCon featuring Tupelo Mania and VIP Wrestling. Sunday, March 5th, Shane Douglas is coming to Memphis Wrestling and someone's getting franchised. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
Hey, just a quick reminder, subscribe for $5, $7, or $10 at www.patreon.com/Shooting the Shiznit without a G. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.SpunkLube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. We can all help prevent suicide. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, and also prevention and crisis resources for you and your loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are we doing this? Wait for it. Wait for it. Pow! It's time for What the Fuck. Every first episode of the month, Brian and Lance look over the crazy wrestling and MMA stories of the month. Welcome, what the fuckers, what the fuck buddies, what the fucking ears, what the fuck nicks, what the fuck yourselves, what the fuck nuts, and whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. That's right, guys. This is What the Fuck for it. Wait for it. Here's Brian and Lance.
What happens when someone sends you a box of cassettes from the 1990s? You put them on as a podcast. Sit back and take a trip to the past for Cassette Wrestling News. Stone Cold Steve Austin called this the first ever podcast. These cassettes were mailed every issue to subscribers during the heyday of wrestling fanzines. Jeff Osborne and John Cena sit down and put out an episode of zany, fun, and sometimes some serious stuff. Get ready to dive 30 plus years into the past.
All right, welcome, guys. Episode 7. This is BT along with Jeff Osborne. Jeff, this was 1994, the best I can figure out, and it's not labeled with any kind of number or anything. It's a Dutch Mantel interview. And all I can say is, you're going to sit here and listen to this, the listener. That's Dutch Mantel. That is him sitting down with somebody and just talking like he always did. Do you still talk to Dutch? Because I do every once in a while.
Man, I haven't in a while. I just talked to King a couple weeks ago, and he said Dutch wasn't doing so great, but I hope he is. The guy is, the guy is one of the most underappreciated business minds in the industry. And we were getting blackballed, not necessarily blackballed, but people weren't using us, me and Sean Brockmo and a couple of the other smaller guys, because we were stealing the shows. And Dutch was a friend of mine, and I don't think they believed me when I would go on these little turd shows, and all of a sudden they were trashing me around Dutch. He's like, "You talking about them Evansville boys?" And he went off on them. He's like, "Those guys know more about the business than your butthole's ever going." He just went off on them and defended us. And after that, we kind of had some cred in the dressing rooms and stuff, even though we weighed like 105 pounds. But, he always had my back. And I actually went to his house a couple times, and we went over to Mark Calloway's house. It was so surreal looking back at what, especially you, I tell people that story about taking pictures in the graveyard, and a few weeks later, all of a sudden, Mark's the Undertaker. Just we've seen some weird things, man. And
yeah, we do. We really do. And it's. I think it kind of made me. And I say this on the podcast, that it made me like I don't know. It's like I can't mark out for anybody. I don't know who I would mark out for, but I can't. I remember I seen Giant Gonzalez in the airport, and I wouldn't even put him over as being as big as he was. Somebody said, "Well, man, what, you shook his hand?" I couldn't even see my hand. I couldn't even see it inside of his. And they said, "Well, what'd you think?" And I said, he wasn't that big. So I wasn't going to put fucking Giant Gonzalez over. I always put Dutch over. I think Dutch taught me a lot about not really psychology, but what you do around people, around the business. What do you say? What do you don't say? One of those old things, keep your mouth shut, kid. I would ride with him to the matches, and then he would just say, go through the dressing room and go sit down. It was not like hang around in the dressing room. If Lawler wanted to talk to me, then it was okay, but it was just one of those things. I remember going to Jonesboro, and me and him and Brian Lee was in the car, and some little kids came up, and Brian Lee started cussing and screaming at the little kids. We walk into the dressing room, and he grabbed my arm and Brian Lee's arm and took us into the dressing room, and he chewed Brian Lee's ass out. I mean, he said, "Look, you don't treat kids like that. I don't care if you're a heel, blah, blah, blah." He goes, "I want Trammell to hear this because I don't want him thinking it's okay for you to do that," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, shit, He's been on the show, really nice, still nice guy. He used to get me. I went to WCW shows when he was in WCW. Any show that he was on, all I had to do was get in contact with him, and he'd say, "Man, we got you some seats where you want to sit," kind of thing. And he talks.
Yeah, I learned more from that.
I believe I did too.
Yeah, I learned more. Yeah, we said the same thing at the exact same time.
Yeah. I really do. I think I told him one time he was a mentor, and he probably didn't know it, but it was. He came to my house the first time I met him, and someone dropped him off because the boys had told him he could sit there at my house until the matches started in Jonesboro if he didn't want to go to the arena. And he comes in and says, "I got somebody going to get me a dip. I'm Dutch Mantel." And he just let me ask him anything. I mean, I was asking him 100 questions because here's a guy I've seen on TV my whole life. But I had known Lawler before that. But he was real good about teaching me some things I didn't even know it. He talks about working with the Jarretts, and he always has the door open there. He also talks about working Smoky Mountain and how he was real impressed with Smoky Mountain. Y'all talk a little bit about Kip Fry calling and a steroid trial. But this is a really awesome episode. I hope everyone likes it. All right, that's episode 7, guys. Thank you, Patreon. And if you're listening to this on the normal feed, which will be months later, so if you want to listen to them 2 a month, please subscribe to Patreon.
Hello?
Is Dutch there?
Who's calling, please?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello, sir. He's coming.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello? Dutch?
Hang on. Hello.
Are you there?
I'm here.
You want to do it?
All right, now what are we talking about now?
You want to talk why you left Jarrett's?
Why I left Jarrett?
Yeah.
Well, I like to talk on a positive note. We can talk about anything. Well, why did I leave Jarrett? They quit booking me. God damn, I don't know what happened.
We can talk about you running shows and stuff.
Well, hang on a second.
Okay.
I'll keep that quiet.
What's that?
RS might pick up on it. Oh, somebody's running that, goddamn.
Oh, okay.
Hell, just let it be a far-ranging interview. I'll talk about 10 to 15 minutes here, whatever it takes.
Okay, then we'll spot.
Give me a question we can get started off on.
Okay.
You can give me a big build-up?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, I'm on the phone with one of the Memphis living legends. Is that build up enough there, Dutch?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay. What's up with Dutch Mantel other than the Stan Hansen findings?
Well, I'm glad you call me a living legend as opposed to a non-living legend. I like that. Oh, what's up with me? Oh, well, Al, it's been floating around, you know, since the major federations haven't picked up on most of my talents or whatever. Since I'm not with WCW, WWF, USWA, or Global, I've created my own little network, and well, actually, I'm doing pretty good. I'm at home most of the time, which is where I like to be, like being in front of my big screen TV, and just go out, and I'm just finding little civic clubs and groups that want to run, that want to promote wrestling to help their club, and it's all in the promotion anyway. Basically, if you promote something, people have to know it's there before they can come, and that's what I've been doing. I've been a little bit in Kentucky, a little bit in Indiana, a little bit in Tennessee, and then I intersperse those activities with some independent matches of other people that they put on. Then I'm involved with Smoky Mountain Wrestling over there based out of Knoxville and Morristown, Tennessee, and I think that's going to do real well. I'm doing the commentary over there. They have the last three, we did a couple of tapes, 3 tapes actually, on the last Thursday. What date would that have been? The 12th?
Yeah,
the 12th of March. And from my standpoint, you know, now I'm in the business and all, but if I was a fan, these matches were the best TV matches that I have seen in, I guess, 3 or 4 years, I guess.
Really?
Or maybe even longer than that. They had some guys in there that I haven't seen, but that they've been going to Japan. They did some unreal stuff. I mean, in these matches they had, no rest holds in them. If you wanted to rate them on rest holds, they were none. It was just boom, bing, bang, back and forth, you know. And for TV, for a 7 or 8 minute match on TV, they packed maybe 40 minutes of action into 8 minutes, which I think was incredible. Very, very good, very professional, and I think it's going to do well over there.
Sort of wrestling your pace then, huh?
Well, I used to wrestle that pace. I've slowed down. Because, you know, I think I was wrestling over the people's heads, and they didn't understand a lot of the moves I was making at the time. So I slowed down just a wee bit, just to let the people catch up with me.
Now, what's this about Kip Fry maybe giving you a call or something?
No. Kip Fry probably doesn't even know my name. No, actually, I just heard through the grapevine that they were looking for commentators, you know, and Kip Fry, I talked to him, and he said he would consider me and all. But see, I don't know, he's all new in the job. I don't know if they want to give it to me, they'll give it to me. If they don't, then there's no love lost, you know, I mean, no bad feelings or anything. Actually, I like WCW. See, I like anybody that's going to, you know, help me further my career, and I think I was one of the better commentators down there. I don't think I talked over the people's heads. I think I was humorous. I was funny. See, I didn't treat wrestling like it was the end of the world. It's not rocket science. You have to go out there and you have to make light of some things, and you have to hammer hard on other things. And I think I talked to Middle America out there. They could understand what I'm saying. And a lot of times I've heard commentators in Atlanta, they get in a picking match with each other. And one, you see the host of the show, and he's got the color analyst there. They get to trying to one-up each other, and the match in the ring really doesn't, it takes on a lesser importance than the two commentators out there. For a long time, they had no stars, actually, on WCW. The stars were the announcers. Because you remember at the time they had no, like, interviews with the wrestlers and all that?
Yeah.
Well, that's all you heard were the announcers. But if WCW wanted me to come back and be a commentator, I'd be more than willing to accommodate them. Because that's what I'm doing in Smoky Mountain, you know. See, I've wrestled so much now. See, all this traveling around, after a while, it takes its toll on you. You know, I was reading one time, not too long ago, that the wrestlers, they travel so much, and they're talking about the drugs in wrestling, the cocaine, the this, that, and the other, you know. Well, that's just not just in wrestling. That's in I mean, it cuts across all kind of economic lines and everything in society. I mean, it's just, they think this drugs in wrestling is the worst thing in the world. They have it in football. They have it in basketball. They suspend people in basketball when they test positive 2 or 3 times. They just get rid of them. They have to. Truck drivers, going to a truck stop. All those truck drivers, if they're driving those ungodly miles, they're all on uppers. They got to be to stay awake. So drugs is just not necessarily inherent in wrestling. It's all across society, because I'm not saying anything other people don't already know. But, you know, one guy wrote in and he said, well, this certain promoter wanted us all drugged up because we were more content, we were this, we wouldn't cause any problems. Well, I don't believe that. I just don't believe it. I think anybody who is a professional is not going to do drugs. And if the truth be known, I'm not going to mention any name, but a lot of these guys making allegations today about drug use and all this kind of stuff, you know, they were druggies themselves before they even made these allegations. They were druggies before they got into wrestling. So they just didn't change. They just want to make accusations now. A lot of things going on now. A lot of people, I think they're working on it, these sour grapes theory, that since they got shafted, or some friend or some kid of theirs got shafted or whatever, now they're going to try to make it hard for the people in power. And so they just, all sour grapes, you know. I'm not a big fan of the WWF myself, but I sort of feel sorry for them because they're trying to get hammered on all sides now, you know.
Yeah.
And I've always been for the underdog because I've always been the underdog myself. I've always fought up. I've always fought from the bottom up. See, when I got into business, I wasn't 6'5". I wasn't 260, 270. And when I got into wrestling, that was a big man. So I always had to make it on just pure drive and determination. And that's what I based my career on, you know. And I've been moderately successful with it, but these guys that want to make all these accusations and say this happened and that happened and all this kind of stuff, you know, I don't want to hear it. And I don't think it's going to hold water myself. I may be wrong. I'm not a lawyer, but I know sour grapes rationale when I hear it.
Now, all these things coming out about Patterson and everything, do you think it's going to overshadow the steroids and everything?
Do I think it will overshadow it?
Yeah.
Well, see, the WWF is a highly visible organization. See, I read, I don't know, that their total merchandising, pay-per-view, and all the revenue that they accumulated last year was $1.7 billion.
Yeah, somewhere near that.
Is that a right figure? That's unbelievable.
It's a lot of money.
Yes, it is a lot of money.
Are you enjoying the episode? Well, Cash App us. That's right, $BTSTS. You don't have Cash App? Download it and get $5. That's right, $5. That's $BTSTS, $BTSTS. Use our Uber Eats code EATS-BRIAN-T24790UE. That's EATS-BRIAN-T24790UE. Use that code and get $20 off a $25 order.
Mysterious Productions.
Ooh. This episode is brought to you by Spunk Lube. Spunk Lube is the perfect blend of water and silicone. It is an all-purpose personal lubricant that can be used for any occasion. You will love the natural feeling and look of it. It is safe for sensitive skin. Go to spunklube.com and tell them Shooting the Shiznit sing.
It's Saturday night, and it's going down. Me and her have been at it for a couple of rounds. When things got dry, man,
right there. Breaking news. That's right. Manscaped now sells, wait for it, beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. This kit, guys, it's awesome. Okay, so you got the beard trimmer. It has 20 hair cutting lengths, 20 for your beard. It's waterproof, so that's cool. Titanium coated blade, T-blades, what they're calling it. The Pro Kit includes beard shampoo, conditioner, some beard oil, some beard balm. Dude, if you got a beard, you gotta join manscaped.com. That's right, you gotta go out there and get this kit. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts. That's right, 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So what I want you to do now, so you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code STSPOD20 at manscaped.com. I want you to go right there, get this beard kit. It's awesome, guys. I promise you, I won't lie to you. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code STSPOD20. Manscaped Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths. Get it now.
What is Cassette Wrestling News' Jeff Osborne doing now? Please visit Secret Headquarters in Evansville, Indiana, 4225 North 1st Ave, Evansville, Indiana, or call Jeff at 812-470-8546. From vintage toys, video games, and comics to a full retro 80s video arcade. They also have the vinyl destination, new and used vinyl records. Drop on in and get something to spin. Follow them on Facebook at The Secret Headquarters.
They outsold, I understand, the NFL in merchandising.
Yeah, they attacked the children's market, and as an adult, I mean, I'm not really interested in all that, but I still watch it.
Oh, I am. I got all my WWF stars on my headboard right here in my bed.
Yeah,
I got Hulk there and Undertaker, and I got them all lined up so I can look at them before I go to bed every night. But I don't know if it's going to overshadow it because it's a highly visible organization in America. So I don't know. It's going to how the media wants to treat it, I imagine. Now, if charges are pending or if they have been filed, I think what's going to take center stage is what happens first. Now, you got Donahue on it. You got, I think Dan Rather was supposed to be filming the Arezzi show tonight and talking about it. They're going to do a big piece on it. Inside Edition, I think, is going to do something on it. And, of course, the L.A. Times, the New York Post, Oakland Star, or whatever it is, they're all doing, those big papers in California, they're all doing articles on this. So I don't know what the end result is going to be. My personal opinion, of course, is I think Vince will weather the storm. I think he will.
I think he always does.
See, Vince is not just like a company. I think Vince is more like a small government. I think he's got advisors. I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Telling him what to do, what to say, what to put out, what to release to the press. Because he's not just sitting there doing all this by himself. Any company's going to take in $1.7 billion. I think I'd have me some advisors around me, too. But my own personal opinion, that he'll weather the storm. What will hurt him if he does lose some key personnel, like Hulk? If he is going to Japan. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, I talked to Mike Lano left a report a while ago saying that him and Roddy Piper supposedly through, and today was their last show other than WrestleMania.
Well, now that'll hurt him. Now that will, because now you got to build fan support around somebody else. But I don't think it's going to be the end of the WWF. I really don't. I hope it's not myself, because see, sometimes you get people who are just jealous of success. And Vince has been as the most successful I think, phenomenon since P.T. Barnum. And people, certain individuals that feel some jealousy or envy toward him are just hoping and praying that he'll fall. I don't think he'll fall. I really don't. Now, I may be wrong, but then again, I'm only one man. It's not up to me whether he falls or not. It's up to the people. It's up to Madison Avenue, up to Vince, up to Lawyers. That's all out of my hands. I'm just stating my own personal opinion here. But it is a free country. I can't do that without fear of reprisal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But if the lawyers start calling you, then...
Oh, if the lawyers start calling me, I ain't seen nothing. I thought I was blind. I seen you. No, man, I just don't know. It's going to be interesting, really, but and a lot of people, I live here in Nashville, and a lot of people are big wrestling fans, and when this news is starting to break now, the national paper, they're not carrying any of this, so I'm not getting a lot of it, but a few of them that know a little bit, they're starting to ask me about certain things. Is this true? Is that true? What do you think here? And I say as least as possible. I think you're better off not blabbing your mouth about everything, but I hope everything works out. And about the homosexuality issue, well, hell, homosexuality, that's nothing new in American society. If the charges, if that is underage boys or whatever, I think Vince, I think all he's got to say about that is, hey, if they're guilty, they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And if they're not, let them have a jury trial and see if they're guilty or not. That's the American system. That is. Hey, Mike Tyson, they convicted him on a rape charge. I don't think boxing's dead. They'll find somebody else to take his place, and they'll continue to go on. Things happen to professional athletes all the time. It doesn't kill the sport, per se. It's not going to kill that. They say, well, hell, he's a bad apple. It happens in anything. I think people got sense enough to realize that. And wrestling fans, the steroid issue, I don't think the average casual wrestling fan gives a hoot one way or the other about it. It's just, if the media makes a big deal out of it, then it's a big deal. And if not, the average Joe who watches wrestling, I don't think he cares. I think what Vince is more concerned about it than anything is if it's going to damage his merchandising potential. Now, that's, I think, is what he's really worried about, and he should be.
Everybody thought that they were going to be through after all the steroid things came out, but they're still around.
Now, what was that again?
Everybody thought that they were going to be, through when the steroid scandal hit, but they survived that. So.
Well, let me tell you this. You remember when Eddie Mansfield came on 2020 or whatever it was years ago, and he tried to expose wrestling?
Yeah. National
television. He talked about the blood and all this kind of stuff. You know what that did for wrestling?
What's that?
It actually helped it. Because to the average person who doesn't even watch wrestling, but watches 2020, the next week, business all across the country picked up.
Yeah.
Because said, well, let's go see this. I've never been, so here's a good time because it got some airplay. Of course, it doesn't need airplay now because they're on. Wrestling's not on as many stations now as they were like 4 or 5 years ago. See, wrestling 4 years ago was almost like tele-evangelism. You had to try hard not to watch it. I mean, in the same way with evangelists on TV. You couldn't turn on TV without seeing Falwell or the 700 Club with Pat Robertson or Jim and Tammy Baker and Ernest Ainsley and Gene Scott, and because I watched all those people, of course, since I'm a very religious man.
Yeah.
But I watched all of them, and to me, wrestling was the same way. And that's the spirit of free enterprise anyway. It's like water. It'll find its own level, and that's what it did. The thing I think has hurt wrestling a lot is the WWF. They did get so big. WCW got so big. They took over all these stations, and the little regional promotions just couldn't compete with them. See, when I got into business, there was like 20, 25 different offices you could work for. When I got in, you had a career. If you only stayed 1 year in each territory, you had a career. You couldn't. If you stayed a year, it'd take you 25 years to get around to all of them. Of course, most guys found a place they liked and sort of homesteaded there and stayed around there because they got along with the management or whatever, and they just more or less made a home there. But now it's WWF, WCW, or famine. That's what it is. Now the USWA, you know, is I want to credit them on one thing. They're still in business, and I guess they're going to stay in business. If they're not out of business by now, they'll never be.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of respect for Jerry Jarrett. I got a lot of respect for all of them. They're my friends, you know. Sometimes I just can't do business with them. But, you know, personally, I like Jerry Jarrett. I think at one time he was one of the most brilliant promoters I have ever seen. He had some great ideas, and a lot of things originated out of that old Memphis territory over there. They put a lot of guys in, you know, they went on to become major stars with WWF and WCW. But I don't know where they're going to find talent to fill some of these shoes when these guys either get too old or, you know, their gimmick becomes stale or whatever. Where are they going to find new talent? I don't know where they're going to find it, because Memphis was like a springboard. It was like a AAA farm system for some of these places, and the same way with, say, a Pensacola or Tampa or a Charlotte, San Antonio, Dallas, two offices one time in California, one in Oregon, one in Kansas City, Indianapolis. You know, New Mexico had an office one time. And then you had Buffalo and all those Canadian territories. But they're all closed up now. See, like guys ask me today, they say, how did I get into wrestling? I said, well, I don't know how you get in. Usually I tell them, I said, well, the best way to get into wrestling is go around to the front door and buy you a ringside ticket, and you come right into wrestling. Now, I said, that's the best way to get in. They said, no, how do I be a wrestler? But see, they don't understand. They see all the glamour and the glitz from the WWF or WCW, and they think it's easy. You know, they would like to be in that spot. And a lot of guys like to train for wrestling, but the only thing is there's no spot for them. Where are they going to wrestle now? Where are they going to make any money at? It's just not there anymore.
Yeah. Well,
am I talking too fast for you, Jeff, or what's the problem here?
Well, you know, I am from Indiana, but, you know, that's okay. Well,
you know what an Indiana baby's first three words are?
What's that?
Interstate 65 South. Take me out of Indiana. I knew a great guy one time, I swear, he said he grew up in Indiana, and he said he couldn't wait to get out. He said when he was 6 months old, he pulled on a pair of knee pads and he crawled to the state line just to get out of Indiana, and I don't blame him. No, I like Indiana. But then again, I like scurvy, so draw your own conclusion there.
Well, you have any closing comments?
Has anybody had any recent sightings of Stan Hansen?
I think we had
See,
one.
what I've done now, I've narrowed my search down. Actually, I've eased off of it a little bit because it's like unsolved mysteries. You know, you see unsolved mysteries on television. Well, this is an unsolved mystery, but it's not. The case is not closed. The case will never be closed until I find Stan Hansen. My search continues, although at a slower pace. And I just want all the fans out there that are listening in, my search is still continuing.
Okay, Dutch, can we have you on and talk about Dutch Mantel instead of wrestling in a couple weeks?
Talk about me. That's my favorite subject.
That's what I thought.
Talk about myself. Yes, you can. You can have me on. Jesse can have me on any time.
Okay.
And actually, when the people listen to me, I don't really knock. See, I'm not like a whistleblower. I don't want to get on radio or tape or anything and knock a bunch of people. See, I believe in a positive attitude. When you have a positive attitude, a lot of good things happen in your life. See, life is short. God only put us here for a set period of time, and my life's too short to harbor bitterness or ill feelings toward anybody, because I believe it takes a lot of energy to be jealous or to hate somebody or not like somebody. If you take that same energy and channel it somewhere else, you can get a lot of good things done in this world. And I'd like to thank you and Harv and Reverend Mark and everybody for attending my show Friday night. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I really appreciate you guys coming down. Yeah. And I want to tell everybody out there, always support your local independent promoter.
Amen.
Okay, there you go. And tell all your fans that, all your listeners that too.
Okay.
His interview matched he had a bullshit interview and a bullshit match, you know, but it matched, and he drew tons of money. With Sting, his interview doesn't really, to me, he doesn't match what the hell he didn't match his match, in other words. That's my point that I'm trying to make. Do you think so?
You know, one of my listeners was saying that. He goes, Sting isn't Sting, Lex Luger isn't Lex Luger, but he said Dutch Mantel is Dutch Mantel.
Oh, what does that mean, though?
It means that, I don't know, you're means you fit the character perfectly. That's what he's trying to say.
Oh. That went a little bit over my head, but it does make sense. You know? Well, it sort of fits in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, I like Lex's interview. Because when he sits there and he explains it and he doesn't raise his voice or anything, to me that's a good Lex Luger. See, he couldn't go out there and scream and ramble and holler and say all kind of stupid shit like I could. See?
Yeah.
But I think his interview matches his work more than Sting matches his.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, Cactus Jack, I think Cactus Jack is Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
Because he sits there. See, if they had any sense now, I'm not saying they don't have any sense, but I'm saying, you know, me and Cactus Jack make a hell of a damn pair.
I know. It's...
I can say, Jack, you hear them voices yet? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear voices. I'm here. What are they saying? Oh, I can't tell you, Dutch. I can't tell you. I said, I think I'm here. I hear them too, Jack. You don't hear them? Yes, I do. And hell, just start goddamn, you know, this stupid shit. Now, that shit sounds stupid, but it gets over. You know.
Yeah.
Like the ill-fated desperados that once were, but will never will be. That's a little deep, I know, but and hell, they canned our ass for weed. They canned our ass for weed got started. I said, boy, that's a great gimmick. Oh, you fucking fired, man. Get the hell out of here. But Dusty, can I talk? Dusty wouldn't even talk to me about it. Black Bart was telling me, he said,
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live, starting Sunday, February 26th. Memphis Wrestling tag teams with Penny Hardaway and the University of Memphis Tigers for Throwback Day at FedEx Forum. Don't miss it live. Saturday, March 4th, join us in Tupelo, Mississippi for TupeloCon, featuring Tupelo Mania and VIP wrestling. Sunday, March 5th, Shane Douglas is coming to Memphis Wrestling, and someone's getting franchised. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
This episode is also brought to you by SpunkLube.com. Remember, when you're getting funky like a monkey, if you know what I mean, use Spunky. That's right. Go to www.spunklube.com and tell them STS Pod sent you. You want the best, you got the best. The best little wrestling podcast in the business. All episodes on www.stspod.club. Did you enjoy that episode? Cash App us at $BTSTS. If you've never downloaded the Cash App, download it today. You'll get a free, that's right, a free $5 for using the code $BTSTS. That's $BTSTS. Hey, that was another great episode of Shooting the Shiznit. Thank you for listening, and thank you to all our sponsors. A big shout out to Bob McGee at Pro Wrestling's Between the Sheets. Remember, you can reach us on Twitter at Comic Book Mark BT, Instagram at BT Shooting the Shiznit. That's right, Shooting the Shiznit without a G. Facebook Shooting the Shiznit, and Facebook Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk. If we don't like you in that group, first you have to ask to get in. If we don't like you, we'll kick you out. All the episodes are at one place, and that's www.stspod.club. Podcast Roll Call. Who's Right Podcast. Homeboys Podcast. E3 Radio, my buddies Richard and Josh. My World with Conrad Thompson and my friend Jeff Darren. Lance's favorite include Nickology, Rock Solid, Playlist Wars, I'm Fat Podcast. Hey guys, remember, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.